Toward the end of my first year at St. Cecilia's in 1952, the Mau Mau rebellion against British rule broke out and lasted throughout much of the 1980s. Organized by members of the Kikuyu, Meru and Embu communities, the Mau Mau struggle was fueled most immediately by the sense of betrayal felt by soldiers returning to Kenya from the Second World War. Not only did they not receive any recognition or compensation for their service, but to add insult to injury, their British colleagues were being showered with honors and even allocated land, some of it taken from the Kenyan war veterans who were forcibly displaced. The roots of the Mau Mau movement, however, are found in an older betrayal. In 1890, Captain, later Lord, Frederick Lugard arranged a meeting with Wayaki Wahinga, a Kikuyu leader, to establish station posts for the Imperial British East Africa Company on Kikuyu land and enable goods to be brought to and from Uganda. At their meeting, Lugard and Wayaki swore an oath to allow the station post on the condition that the British would not take Kikuyu land or other property. The agreement, however, did not last because Lugard's porters started looting the nearby settlements and raping women. The Kikuyus fought back in a series of battles that culminated in a standoff in 1892 when Wayaki was captured, taken away, and eventually buried alive by the colonial administration. The Kikuyus were stunned by Wayaki's humiliation and death. In the early decades of the 20th century, all peoples of Kenya resisted colonialization and were killed in the process. Eventually, they were all defeated, suppressed, and largely silenced. Immediately after the First World War, the British established an identification system called Kipande. That required every male African in Kenya to carry a pass. The government introduced indirect forced labor and increased taxes. In the early 1950s, frustrated by the slow pace of change, a guerrilla war for independence was launched, the Mau Mau. While there are many theories about the origin of the term Mau Mau, the one I find most interesting is this. In Kikuyu, when beginning a list, you said, Ondune Mau. The main issues are, and then hold up 3 fingers to introduce them. For the Mau Mau, the 3 issues were land, freedom, and self-governance.
She lived for the Kenyan environment. She lived for the trees and the rivers. Nobel Peace Laureate Wangari Maathai fought hard and often was humiliated, trying to save Kenya's parks and forests from the jaws of land grabbers, keen to put up prime real estate, including skyscrapers. Uhuru Park stands out as one of the saved public spaces. It was no easy battle for Wangari Maathai, as the ruling party KANU in 1989 wanted to put up a 60-story skyscraper right at the heart of the park to house the headquarters of the Kenya Times newspaper. Despite KANU's power during the single-party era, Maathai fought and saved Uhuru Park. Jivanjee Gardens, where a march in her honor began today, was one such space too, another garden saved by Kenya's environmental protection queen.
The reason that it was saved was certainly public, the court of public opinion, not so much the courts, because at that time there was no provision in the constitution for a member of the public to protect a green space.
Did you always understand what she was trying to do for the country?
No, I never did. I always worried. We worried sometimes about her safety, but we never quite understood the profundity of what she was doing, and certainly how aware she was about what she was doing.
Tell me one incident that you felt, no, Mama has got to stop doing this.
Karura Forest. Karura Forest was one of the most difficult times for us. We were away from the country, but we would see images, and especially that very famous confrontation with armed thugs, as I call them, who were stopping them from entering the forest. And I remember my mother trying so hard to explain that, you know, forests are important for our lives, and they couldn't have cared less about what she was saying. But you could see in their faces, and I think every time I watched that footage, you could see in the bitterness in the eyes of these young people. They were ready to shoot some arrows, and we all just hoped that, good Lord, that if we ever were to lose Mommy, it would have been in a place like that.
If we are going to shed blood because of our land, we will. We are used to that. Our forefathers shed blood for our land. We will do so. This is my blood.